She'll be here all day, folks. Try the veal.
For me, it was Abe Lincoln's hat. You know, I remember when I read that, I was like, so because Pete says, I once put on Abe Lincoln's hat and had an irresistible urge to free Mrs. Frederick. And I remember going, really? Okay. And for me, you know, I just like, I get really frustrated, and I'm sure we all do, like, you know, what's going on in America with race relations, man? And it's just...
Good idea. Let's talk about Ferguson.
Yeah.
Excellent choice.
I wasn't going to say anything about Ferguson.
What's going on in Israel with them there?
Anyway, I thought that it was a great example of the tone of our show. It really just tended to bring people together, as opposed to, because I wasn't going to talk about Ferguson.
Well, not right now. It's not right now. No, I'm kidding.
Anyway, I thought that it was a great example of the togetherness that we brought, and hopefully the togetherness that we conveyed. You know, and it was an innocent commentary on what's going on in the United States.
We could do The Darkest Ship, didn't we, on that show? Because of that? You're not forgiving me for that, for interrupting your...
No, I'm good.
All right. He'll never forgive me.
This is the family aspect.
No, sometimes you're funny, Salvo, and sometimes you just, you know, interrupt my moving moments.
No.
He's drawing. So, Joanne, Allison, anybody, Aaron?
Well, I think the one artifact that, on a couple levels, the metronome, because it let me come back to the show. So just in a very practical, thank God they came up with that idea. And then also when I was thinking about it, I actually got to take home the metronome as sort of a souvenir. We all sort of got to take a few things. So, and Allison and I were going to maybe share joint custody, and I'm sorry that I've had it for so long.
No.
I promise at a certain point I'll take it back. But then I was thinking also, I'm like obsessively punctual and on time, and it drives me nuts when I'm late. And then I was like, maybe that's why I like the metronome so much, because it's just such a tick-tock, tick-tock, tick-tock. It's never... Yeah, strangely. So anyways, I think that's probably the one that I really enjoyed.
For me, Jonah, the answer to your question, is there an artifact that I wish that I could have used in my personal life? I don't think I would ever be tempted to use one, because the whole reason the warehouse existed was to take that option away from people, right? We saw with Walter Sykes, I mean, he endured a huge tragedy as a kid, and he found this bracelet and it allowed him to walk, but at the same time it made him a really bad guy. And what I take from that is that in our lives, you know, the tragedies that we endure and the mistakes that we make us who we are, and they're necessary. And if an artifact, you know, prevented me from going through any of the things that I went through, I wouldn't be the person or the actress or the daughter or the friend or the girlfriend that I am today. And I think that, you know, that's the essence of being a person, is enduring.
All the people that use the artifacts didn't like themselves very much.
Right.
I guess if you like yourself a lot, or enough, you don't really need. If you've got enough people around you, in other words, that give you the support and love, and you feel you have a sense of self-worth, and you may not need an artifact. And it was one of the themes of the show all the way through. And so what Eddie was saying is that we were able, because that was underneath it, and because you guys in the writers' room did that constantly, as you knew that was underneath as a core, that we were able to be so silly and do lines like we'd free Mrs. Frederick with Big Lincoln's hat, because we could get away with it, because we knew underneath there was a deep human need to go beyond what we should do, and to try it, to reach for it. And the dangers of it were, that's why we were always on a knife edge. Jack used to call us, what do you call us, a thriller-rama?
Adventure-ramedy.
A thriller adventure-ramedy. it was because we were as performers, we were required to be on triple knife engines all the time, and it was one of the reasons it kept us going on a 14-hour or 15-hour day, was that the demand was that if you were going to do something that was going to cost tears, the next second you better do a pratfall, or do something that was from a heartbeat, and something from the brain, and something from a fart. That would have to happen, you know, almost in the same line, 5 different ways, in order to keep us going. So you guys, I'm sure, I know if it was for my family, it was they didn't know what to expect. You know, a lot of shows you go, I know what the show is going to be. And I remember the very first con that we were at, and that I thought I would say this out loud because we had the executives there, and NBC Universal and Sci-Fi standing in the corner, and the writers were over there. And I said, you know, when writers are first doing a series, the first thing they do, any series, one of the things they do in a writer's room is they say, when an idea comes up, they say, is that a warehouse show? Is that a warehouse story? Is that our show? And what I said, I believe it's true, is the minute they figure out what a warehouse story is, we're... and you know, I think we kept surprising you guys and ourselves. What? What's happening?
I didn't, Joanne and Eddie are just sitting there, no problem.
Threatening to scribble on my picture.
Do I have to separate you two?
Joanne and I get to travel to, not tomorrow, but the following day.
Tomorrow night?
Yeah, we're going to Australia for 2 weeks together, so she's
You're
going to get a
stuck?
lot of me!
You guys gonna be stuck on a plane beside each other for like 15 hours? That would be interesting.
I think they put you in different hotels.
No. We have adjoining rooms. Joanne, hey Joanne, good morning, Joanne. You up there? Hey Joanne, you up? Hey, good morning, you up?
Let's
I have
get
some earplugs.
Okay, here we go. Next question.
Okay, guys. My family's been coming here for years, and we are so appreciative that you have, ladies especially, become a part of our family. We have watched since my kids were 8, and we have stopped the program and Googled the artifact to find out what it really is in the history, on Wikipedia, all these places, and we really do appreciate everything. And ladies, we were here when Eddie was drawing on the tablecloth. For the table. The question that I have for you is, over the last 5 years, y'all have had some phenomenal guest stars who have their own history and their own careers, you know, that have spoken volumes.
Not anymore.
Well, can you tell me who among you, who is your favorite?
Jamie Murray.
Oh yeah, we'll say that.
Jamie Murray? All right.
I've become really good friends with Roger Rees, and who was my nemesis on the show. We've stayed in touch with each other. We're planning to do a play together. He's a wonderful man. He was a friend of Jack Kenny's to begin with. And I also had the great good fortune. In 1979, I did a little play in New York with an unknown actor, a fellow unknown actor, called Brent Spiner. And then Brent and I, about 6 or 7, no, it must have been, and that was 79. So in 89, 10 years later, we did The Most Toys on Star Trek The Next Generation. And Jack said, who do you think would be right to play? I'm Brent Spiner. That's why Brent is on, very generously, went on, did the whole first half of season 4. And it was just like, I just did it, it was basically a two-hander. All our scenes were Brent and I, we got to hang out. It was just an amazingly wonderful thing, because if you know him, if you guys met him at the con, he was here last year, right? Yeah, he's incredibly dry, you know? Really, really funny, dry wit. You're not sure for 5-10 seconds if he's joking, you know? And then you get it, and then you get it later, and he's really a wonderful man, an incredibly kind person, and a generous actor. And I had that great good fortune of of that. And I have to also say, for me, I'm sorry to hold on to this, these are all old men, but it was like, but Rene Bourgeois,
he's amazing.
who had spent a whole life, I mean, one of the great actors of our generation. And we were lucky that he did. How many years did he do on the Star Trek shows? About
7 or about 7, I think.
I mean,
Yeah.
he's an incredibly versatile actor. You can go right back to seeing him play the young preacher in Robert Altman's MASH. You know, when he was probably in his late 20s. His son is also an actor. So I had the great good fortune of working with those incredibly gifted and generous men. I'm very grateful that I had that.
Wasn't too long.
No, they were doing the MASH theme song for you. They were giving you music back
I want to do the foot. See, that's a flute.
It's very good.
It's so hard to pick favorite guest stars because we were so, I mean, just
Joel Grey.
I couldn't talk to him.
Yeah,
I could not speak to him.
Kate Mulgrew.
I was gonna say I think Kate Mulgrew is probably my favorite.
Kate Mulgrew, how could I only thought of old men? Kate Mulgrew.
Don't tell her about
We
that.
became still close friends. She was awesome. I guess slipped my mind because I think, oh, that's just my friend. Wait, no, she was Eddie's mom and a regent. And
We were so blessed to
brought
have.
so
I mean,
much.
we had CCH Pounder, for God's sakes. We got to work with so many incredible people, and it just didn't stop. It was like a greatest hits. I didn't even understand some of the careers that these people had until, because I was afraid to Google them because I'd be intimidated. So after they would leave, I'd be like, you know?